Well, hey everybody, it's Amy at Macy's Cool Springs, and today I wanted to cover something that a lot of our customers ask us about, and that is how to apply eyelashes without it being painful and stressful and a difficult situation. Because we got Halloween coming up and we've got holidays, and also since all we're seeing of each other right now is this, and it's all about the eyes, it doesn't hurt to have a little something extra going on. And I can tell you, I love to wear a lash now and then because it just kind of perks up your whole day. And it is possible to do it without wanting to rip your hair out. So I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks I've learned to kind of make it a little bit easier for you. If you miss anything about any products I mentioned, I'm going to post at the notes in the end, and also they'll be in the comments below. And of course, you can always call me at the counter or Nicole at Macy's at Green Hills, and we're happy to talk you through the process. So first thing I'm going to do is get my bangs out of my face, which I know, very glamorous. And please excuse me being shiny McMirror face today. It is really, really hot up in this Macy's. I'm up in a conference room, and the one thing I forgot to pack in my touch-up bag was my powder. So I know we got some high reflection going on here. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I have my basic eye look on already. Now, the first step to lashes is you want to have everything on already. So all of your eye makeup, including your eyeliner and your mascara. Now, I will tell you with mascara, you want to scale back from maybe what you would normally do. Normally, I have this whole routine where I curl my lashes like 3 times and put on 3 coats of mascara, but I find when my lashes are that curly and that full, sometimes it makes it a little harder to get the lash in behind them. So especially if you're new to lashes, maybe just 1 coat of mascara and 1 curl with the lash curler, which is what I've done today, just to give you enough lift that your lashes will blend into the fakes, but not so much that your own lashes will be fighting you trying to put the fake lashes on. All right, so your first choice is, how do I decide which kind of lashes to wear? I want something that looks natural, but not too crazy, but pretty. So when you're looking at lashes, the first thing you mainly want to look at, most people tend to look straight at the length. Oh, those look too long, those look too short. Don't really look at the length so much. What you really want to look at is the band. And what I mean by that is the base of the lashes. So you see how on our number 3 lashes right here, that base is very thick and very solid. Tell you a little secret. The more thick and solid the base is, the more the lash is going to fight you a little bit when you're trying to get it on. It's going to be a little stiffer and a little more resistant. So if you're pretty new to lashes, don't get ones that are solid across the bottom, even if they're playing games with you and trying to pretend like they're short and subtle. Like you would think these two would be pretty similar on the eye, except, one's brown. But when you look at them, you see these have a much thicker strip, so they're going to be a little more challenging to get on. So when you're trying to decide what lashes to go for, don't look at length first and foremost, look at the band. Maybe not these guys if you're new to lashes, maybe something more like these guys. You see how that strip is really thin and flexible, and the lashes are a lot more piecey. Those are going to bend with you a lot more and be a lot easier to get on. So my favorite lashes to put on are actually the M.A.C number 36 lashes. I like these because they give a nice little flare at the corners of the eyes. They're pretty, but they're not too overstated, and they're going to be just enough. So whenever people say, I want to try lashes, but I'm a little bit nervous, I usually go for 36s. And you see also that they're a dark brown color. You won't ever look at them when they're on and say, oh my gosh, they're dark brown, they're not black, but it does give them a slightly more subtle look. So I do like that about them. The lashes I'm going to practice with today, though, are our number 76 lashes. I chose these because since they're a little darker, I think it'll be a little bit easier for you to see what I'm doing. And also, you can probably tell by looking at them, these are actually my personal lashes that I've worn before. So it's a pair I had at home already rather than having to buy new lashes. So I'll be putting on our number 76 lashes, but the number 34s, oh, and it fell off the case. It's okay, found it. The number 36s are really beautiful. And actually, a thing we've got going on right now at M.A.C, you get a free pair of number 36 lashes with any $45 product purchase, because we know Halloween's coming up and everybody wants to do the smoky, sexy eyes with a little something extra going on. These really contribute to that look. So, all right, so we've got, like I said, all my eye makeup on. We've got my liner, and I've got 1 coat of mascara, though not as much as I would normally wear. So now it's time to get in here with my lashes. So your lashes are going to come, of course, in a case like this. They've got just enough sticky to put them in the case. You cannot wear them just without any adhesive, which is what I tried to do when I was 16 years old, but that's a long story, but it was funny. They flew off in the middle of the night. It was great. So to get your lashes out of the case, I'm going to use my thumb and very gently ease them off the strip. You don't want to rip them out like you're waxing your leg. Just going to pull them off the strip gently. Now, since I've worn these before, they've got a little glue and makeup on the strip. That is not a problem. I'm literally just going to pick that off really quickly. You can't wash a fake lash, so you don't ever want to get them wet or get eye makeup remover on them. If you ever get them wet, they fuzz up and do horrible things. I've made that mistake too. Washed my face once with them on, forgot I was wearing them. So this is what you do in between wearings. And this is why generally I don't put mascara on my lashes if I want to reuse them, because there really is no way to get that off. There we go. So we got the strip nice and clean, and I'm just going to pick the strip on the other one. Now, of course, you would not have to do this if you were using brand new lashes. But if you've got a good lash, you can wear it 4 or 5 times before they get too twisted up and sad to keep using. So I'm all about multiple uses of lashes. And that's why I like the M.A.C ones. I feel like they hold up well to multiple wears. All right. Okay, so we got all the glue off that guy. Wonderful. So now we've got our little lash here. Now, if this were my first time wearing these lashes, I would want to make sure that they were the right length for my eye. You don't want your lashes to come any further in than your natural lashes do, or go any further out at the corner. It's tempting to try to make the lash go from corner all the way in here, but I will tell you from experience that's really, really uncomfortable, because if you get the lash in that little area right there where you don't have any lashes, every time you blink, you feel it stabbing you. And also, if your lash is too wide, it increases the chances that the lash is going to pop off during the day, because every time you blink, it puts stress in the middle, and that's when the lash tends to start buckling out later in the day. So trimming your lashes properly will not only make them more comfortable and easy to wear, it will also make them more secure through the day. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to lay that up against my lash line, and I'm looking in my little mirror, and since I've worn these before, I know that they fit. But you see, that's just stopping right where my lashes stop and right out here. So these are fine. If they were a little bit wide, I would take a little scissor and always start from the outside, and I would trim off maybe 1, possibly 2 lengths. Start conservatively. You can always trim off a little bit more, and then that would make them fit better. You do not ever want to try to trim the length of your lashes at all. You see the way that they are staggered. That is how they look more natural when they are on the eye. If you get in there and start hacking off length, they're going to get very stubby looking. So literally, if you ever have to trim length, which I have been foolish and tried to do a couple of times, you have to get in there and do individual hairs and stack them like a hairdresser, and that's just too much work for anybody. Okay, so we got our guys trimmed and ready to go. Now, this is our lash glue. I really like Duo Lash Adhesive. She has never let me down. This is a latex adhesive, at least the blue version is. They make a latex-free version if you have allergy issues. I prefer the original because to me the latex-free version dries a little bit too quickly. I've been using this glue for so long, I'm really used to the dry time on it, so when it dries a little more quickly, I don't care for it because you don't have the time to adjust it if you want to. So Duo Adhesive has always been my good friend. We have it here at M.A.C. You can also get it in any Walgreens, CVS. Now here's going to be your first trick. What we are not going to do is take our little tube of glue and take our lash and glue right along the strip, because what will happen is you'll get an air bubble in your glue, it's going to burp all over your lash, and then you'll have way too much glue. So instead what I'm going to do, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to keep my hands out from in front, there we go. I'm going to bring that glue right down the stick of a Q-tip. Just get a nice little line of glue like that, and you take your Q-tip, ta-da, and then we're going to just pull that right along the base of the lash. You want to coat it evenly, but not too thickly. You don't want to be that girl with the gross glue boogers at the base of your eyelashes. And another word about glue, please make sure whatever glue you use is for actual eyelashes. If it says it's track glue, hair glue, any other kind of glue, no, because you will pull your lashes off when you take it off. Now, of course, lashes like these with this kind of glue are just meant for one-day wear. These are not like the extensions that are meant for multiple days. And in any case, you only want to wear a strip lash for one day. Okay, so you see how that's coated evenly, but not too thickly. And now we're going to give it a second, because if you rush the glue, it'll be so wet when you try to put it on that the lash won't stick. So, like I said, I'm just used to the dry time on this glue. We'll give it a few seconds. A trick I've learned with my eye, because you see I have a good curve to my eyelid. Whenever I'm waiting for my glue to dry, I hold my lashes like this just to give them a little crink, so the curve of the lash will echo the curve of my eyelid. If you've got a straighter, flatter eye, you may not need to fool with that, but I find this is helpful, especially when I'm on the second or third or fourth or fifth wearing of a pair of lashes. After you've worn them a couple of times, they tend to be straighter, but this actually helps. Okay, we just need to give that a few more seconds. Don't rush your lashes. This is why you kind of got to be in a zen place to put them on. Okay, so I got my lashes, and then over here I got my cheap little blunt tweezer. This is an old tweezer, or you can use a paintbrush. I don't recommend a Q-tip. The fibers will get in it, or if you have a little rubber tip brush, that's what we're going to use to guide everything onto the eye. All right, kids, here we go. So we've waved her around. All right, so you're not going to look at yourself straight at the mirror because then you can't see what you're doing. And if you shut your eye, everything crinkles up. So instead, you're going to tilt your head back so you're basically looking up your nose in the mirror. I always lay down the outer corner first, and then just come in and lay down, little man. Talk to them. Don't show fear. And this is when the tweezer comes in for me. There we go. So you see how I'm just using that to kind of press that right down at the base of the lash. Now, like I said, I've got very steady hands, and nobody's in this room to possibly jostle me from behind while I'm using a tweezer right next to my eye. For safety reasons, you might prefer to use something a little softer and a little blunter. Now, he's trying to pop off, and that is okay. I've got the glue on my eyelid. It just means the glue wasn't quite dry enough for him to grab. He'll lay down in a second. You just keep encouraging him. There you go, man. And you see how I'm pushing them down right to the base of my lash. Because what I don't want to happen is that when I look up at the ceiling, which I'm not going to do now because it'll move the lash, I don't want to be that chick where you can see the gap of flesh in between my lash line and the fake lash, because that makes me sad. If it feels like you're grabbing your bottom lashes, that's okay. Once the glue dries, it'll stop doing the grabbing thing. So now I'm going to go and just lightly pinch my lashes into those, and then I'm going to leave them alone. I'm going to fluff them more in a minute, but first I need him to dry and be secure. And yes, all that white business is going to disappear in just a minute, so don't worry about that. They do make a dark version of Duo as well. Like I said, the white will disappear, so I never really bother with it myself, but you can if you want to. All right, now we get Lefty, and he's usually the difficult one. Do your easy eye first to build up your confidence. So again, we're coating the lash strip with our little Duo. There we go. Okay. Can wave him around. You can talk to him for a minute. There we go. All right, so we're going to let him. And I see that I've got, see that extra bump of glue there? That's the other good reason to have a Q-tip, because now I can come along the top there, just smooth that out so I don't have any glue boogers. So good reason to have a few Q-tips handy. So while I'm waving him around, I'm going to come over here and check, make sure nobody's coming off the eye. They're not. I'm going to get my tweezer again. Now you notice I'm being careful not to close my eye all the way or look straight up or do too much that's too athletic. I want this lash to be really settled in before I start moving it around, so that's why I'm not blinking hard or doing anything like that. Now when you're looking at your lashes and you're wondering which one goes on which eye, you can always tell the shorter end goes in by your nose. So this one is for this eye. This one is for, no, I'm backwards. Yeah. Sorry, this one is for this eye. The top one will be for this eye. The short end always goes in by your nose. Okay. Now, like I said, this one is the one that maybe gives me a little trouble. My left eye is just a smidge shorter than my right eye, so sometimes I have a little more difficulty with placement here, but that's okay. So again, I'm just holding him at the tip like that. See how I'm kind of lifting him up so I can see under it. Lay down the outer corner and then slide it up the lash till you get to the base. Okay, he's looking pretty good. I'm going to lean back a second and make sure I've got him symmetrical because I tend to glue a little bit off on the left side. There we go. And then again, tweezer, pop, pop. Like I said, you could totally do that with a brush if you need to. There we go. Now, if you're wanting to get into doing lashes, I will tell you, the first couple of times you do them, you're going to mess them up horribly. It's okay. Everybody does. The first few times I wore lashes, and especially since I was self-taught, and God help me, I'm old enough that it was before YouTube, it was an unmitigated disaster. It was pretty bad. So you're going to mess it up. So what I'm saying is, don't wait until the night of the big event or until you really want to wear these out to practice and get comfortable with the technique and the feel of them. One day when you got a couple of hours to kill, and it doesn't matter if you mess your face up a little bit, just get yourself a pair of cheap lashes from the drugstore and just sit at home and practice with them. Take them on and off about 3 or 4 times until you get the feel of them. Because doing lashes is really like braiding your own hair. You're gonna mess it up, and then you just sort of get the feel for it, and then it's much easier. Okay. So again, I'm not gonna look around too much. It's sticking on my bottom lash a little bit. I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay, so we go and we pinch those guys in. Okay, so far they're looking pretty good. So we're gonna let him dry and settle. Now I'm gonna come back over here. I'm gonna check my lash strip. No gaps anywhere, nothing weird. If there were anything coming up, because sometimes my inner corners fight me a little bit, that is specifically what I keep this old, cheap, stupid, pointy brush for. I can get a little glue right on the base of it, and if anything's giving me trouble, I can just pull the lash away very lightly, put a little glue right there on my skin, give it a couple of seconds, and then go back and press the lash in. Does that make sense? Now, today they're behaving themselves. Sometimes they don't. All right. Now, while this one's drying, another thing that you can use to put a lash on, this is the M.A.C lash tool. I don't know that M.A.C makes them anymore, but I know that other places do. And for a lot of people who are new to lashes, this is a tremendous help. Basically, you just pinch the lash between it and then put it against your eye and lay it down. So if you're really struggling with lashes, maybe a lash tool like this, so you can kind of lay it down and guide it, would be helpful. Like I said, since I learned to do lashes the other way, this gets in my way more than it helps me, but it is an option out there, and for some people it works great. I've worked with a lot of artists who really prefer to have the lash tool, especially when they're applying to somebody else, none to speak of when they're doing it to themselves. Okay. All right, everybody looking cute. Now, you see the difficulty now is it looks like I've got a lash on because we've got this big gap of naked flesh here, and although the glue has dried clear, you see it's dried with some shine to it. So now we've got to blend that away. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of my eyeliner, which the color I have on today is called Sketch, which is a dark burgundy because I've got on this sort of Devoted to Chili. I got a new eyeshadow yesterday. I've got on the Devoted to Chili in my crease and then Woodwinked on my lid. So of course I got this whole autumnal thing going on. So I decided to support that with a burgundy liner. Now I'm gonna do powder shadow as liner just because, you know, when I see lash videos online, everybody and their mother does liquid with their lashes. You don't have to. And to be honest, I don't like doing liquid on myself. I think it's annoying. So I usually do powder shadow as liner. So that's what I'm gonna do today. You can do that with lashes too, and it's a lot more forgiving. So I'm gonna get a little bit more of my Sketch. The main trick is we're gonna get in here. There we go, make sure you can see it. Right there, that little gap where the lash stops. Oh. So see the difference, just that little bit there to that eye there? Just that little bit of liner really blends in the strip. And then, let me tilt my head back so I can get up in there a little bit. And then I'm just very gently gonna go over the top. You notice I'm not trying to draw a line, I'm just pressing the brush right against it. There we go, and that is the M.A.C 263 brush. There she goes. Just press that right against the base. There are some really beautiful other colors you can use to do this same technique. If you don't want to use the dark burgundy, we've got Brune, which is a nice brown. Of course, Carbon, the pitch black. I love black eyeliner. Wasn't wearing it today, but also maybe not black for your first outing with lashes because black can be very unforgiving. I love black eyeliner, but it does show every mistake you make. So sometimes using a dark brown or a dark teal like Plumage or a dark burgundy like Sketch, it's actually easier to hide if you don't have the steadiest hand yet. There we go. And I'll put just a little tap more at the inner corner, there. And then you take your fingers and just gently press against the lash to press it up and lift. Oh, hi. I love putting on lashes because then you're just like, aren't you a pretty girl? Oh my. Yes, it's so good to see you in the mirror. So now we're going to go ahead and do the other eye. So again, you come right at the inner corner. Ta-da. And then we're just going to take that liner and go right over the top. This also gives you a chance to double check your lash strip and make sure it is really, really, really secure, which luckily, like I said, thank God they cooperated with me today. Trust me, there are plenty of days I'm cussing my lashes out while I'm putting them on, you know, showing them who's boss. So sorry my phone keeps dinging. Yes, I forgot to put it in airplane mode before I came up here. There she goes. All right, and again, use your fingers and just gently press those upward. Okay, that looks good, but now you see my bottom lashes are looking really, really puny. So now that everything's dry and ready to go, I'm going to add a little mascara to my bottom lashes just to amp them up a little bit. And this is our extended play mascara, which I love. This nice little skinny brush gives good definition. Yes, mascara. Okay. And like I said, I normally don't put mascara on my lashes if I intend to wear them again. However, if you don't plan to wear them again and you really want to take it over the top, by all means, put mascara on your lashes. You would do so at this time. Okay, make sure my brows aren't completely out of whack. They're not. They look tidy. Okay. So there we go. So that is the number 76 lash, and that is how you put them on. We've talked about putting the glue on the Q-tip rather than trying to apply directly on the lash. We've talked about finishing it up with the liner and how you can use powder instead of liquid, because liquid can be difficult. And also, most importantly, about how to hold your head when you're looking in the mirror. Because if you try to come at yourself like this with a lash, you can't see what's happening and your eye is going to flinch. If you close your eye, everything wrinkles up and the lash is not going to sit right. So it's all about tilting your head back and basically looking up your nose and then just laying it down and guiding it into place, either, you know, if you live dangerously like me with an old tweezer, or you can use a cheap little brush, or you can use a little spongy tip thing. Just make sure it's not something with fibers. So again, you can't do it with Q-tips because then you'll get little fibers in the glue. If you try to do it with your fingers, they will always get stuck in the glue. So use something that the glue is not going to adhere to as much, and it's going to be a lot easier. And then you're just laying them down and then snicking that right in that, and you'll kind of feel them click into place when they set down at the bottom of your lash line. All right, we can take my bangs out, and thank you. And once you get more practice with lashes and feel more comfortable, like I said, when you first are picking out lashes, pick ones that have a softer, more spaced out strip like that. They're going to be more flexible and a lot easier to work with, but trust me, once you get a little practice, that's when you go for these guys, and they're gorgeous. And if you really get into a lash, sometimes I like to wear 2 pairs together. Yeah, stacked on top of each other just to get a different effect. We also talked about, remember, if you're going to be putting lashes on, I found it helpful to actually scale back my mascara routine. I don't curl my lashes but the one time, and very gently, and I put on 1 coat of mascara, but you see that's worked out well because you cannot see my lashes poking out. If you try to put on lashes without putting on any mascara, or if your lashes are straight like mine without curling them, what'll happen is you can see your lashes poking out from underneath and then the fakes above. So just that 1 coat of mascara and that 1 little bit of curl really helped my lashes blend in with the fakes. So, all right, so that's lashes for you. So like I was saying, if you're wanting to try lashes, it's a great time because at all the M.A.C counters, you get a complimentary pair of number 36 lashes with any $45 purchase. We are here in person to talk you through the lash thing if you have some other questions. Also at Macy's exclusively, Friends and Family sale starts Monday. So what that means is from October 26th until November 9th, all cosmetics and fragrance, including M.A.C, including our holiday sets, will be 15% off. So it's a great time to come and stock up. You can come get 15% off. You can come get a free pair of lashes with it. You can come talk to us and get some pointers. So it's all going on at M.A.C. So thank you all for joining me today, and I hope this cleared up some lash issues for you. And everyone have a wonderful weekend.